Okay, now here's the two plates that we did the overlay on yesterday. I grew one of them in low light, I marked it low, and one of them in high light, I marked it high. You notice there's a slight difference in color, and that's due to the bacteria that were in the top agar. You notice they're a little lighter colored when they're low light, a little darker colored in the high light. All right, you also can still see the algae patches through the agar, although the top agar, if you can see from the side, actually it's a little bit easier to see with this one because it's darker. You can see that top agar, it's actually over the algae. The algae are not poking through. So the algae were covered up by the rotobacter overlay, and they were producing hydrogen, hopefully. And if they were producing hydrogen, the rotobacter around them can detect it, and the ones that detect hydrogen will make a fluorescent protein, and that's what we're going to look at now. All right, so I'm going to do the highlight one, and then I'm going to do the low light one. Actually, no, I'll do the low light first. The low light's supposed to work better. We're going to see. All right, here's my box. Now I'm going to turn the lights off. There's a blind, or at least turn them, dim them. There we go. All right, my box is a little bit different than you might have made. There we go. I've decided to angle. You see how I cut the cardboard lids and I taped it to that. So it gives it a slight angle. That way the light can't reflect straight up into the hole. That's where our camera is going to be later on, right? All right, so the way it's made now is that it's at an angle, so it'll hit the plate, and then the idea is that it'll, the light ray will come hit the plate and then bounce over here, not bounce to that hole where our camera is. That should cut down the background, hopefully. That's the idea. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, get this out of the way. Here I've got my black cloth, and you should have some too that we sent to you. And then I'm going to put plate right in the middle. Okay, and then I'm going to put the box right on top of it. Okay, and I'm going to look down at the box. I'm going to turn the light up so you can see it. And so I can see that box, sorry, right through the hole. Sorry, I can see the plate right through the hole. Now, of course, I don't see any fluorescence because I'm seeing most of the blue light reflecting off it. The green light that's coming off the fluorescent protein and the bacteria is going to be pretty low. But what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to take this green filter here, this little optical filter, so it looks green when it's not reflecting at you. Here, I put it against this white background. You can see it looks green, okay? And that will block out the blue light and only let the green light go through. That's the idea. Okay, so I'm going to tape this. I'm going to use some Scotch tape and tape that so it's going to go right on here, right over my camera, and the world will look green. That's what you're going to see next, and then we're going to take the picture. Okay, so what I've done is I've taped that optical filter to my camera. That's why the world looks kind of green. And I can look in the box, and I can't actually see the fluorescence because it's such a small signal. But that's what we're about to look at next. Unfortunately, I can't take a video of actually taking the picture because I have to use a different app to take the picture, but I'll show you the pictures afterward. This is a video of me positioning the phone camera with the optical filter taped in front of it over the hole in the illuminator box. You see the plate looks a little bit green, mainly from the reflected background green light, not really the fluorescence. This is what you'd see as you position it to take the picture. And here's the pictures I took with the plate that had been grown at low light, which is the condition in which they typically advise you to do. The first image was taken with a 1/2 second shutter speed. This next one was taken with twice as long, 1 second. And this last one was taken with 2 seconds. So you can see that the signal increases, the relative signals are the same, and so we'd have to pick which one of these would be best to do the analysis, which is going to be shown in the next video. And then here I've shown you the plates that were grown at highlight. And you can see the pattern looks different. That means that, so one strain is making hydrogen here, whereas before 2 were doing it in the low light. And so that means that some strains do make hydrogen better at highlight than low light. And I'm going to let you guys figure out what that means, or which strain is doing that and why that might be. That's part of the fun. Anyway, hope you enjoy. The next video tells you how to analyze this data.